So welcome back guys to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a review on Anbernic's RG280V. Now, just to let you guys know, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this with my own money, but at the end of this video, if this is a product that you're looking for, you can always help support the channel by clicking the Amazon affiliated link. Now, the RG280V is one of many Anbernic models of these products overseas that are like these Linux open source devices that house a bunch of emulators that you can upload all your ROM. But this thing being less than $100, is it worth it? Let's see what comes out of the box. All right, so here's the box right here. I have to say the box to build quality is really good. I mean, it looks and feels like I'm opening up a brand new cell phone. All right, so this is kind of a reenactment because I've already opened it, obviously. But you got this nice protective foam, which I thought was very premium. And the handheld itself, oh my gosh. The build quality, something else. So you have two different color schemes. You can either get silver and black, or you can do like I did and get the golden maroon, because it's very reminiscent of the family computer, the Famicom, which is one of my favorite looking consoles. You have your standard buttons, you have your D-pad, your diamond style button layout, very reminiscent of what we see today with gaming. And the buttons feel great, the D-pad feels awesome. Really something interesting to note as well is the shoulder buttons are at the top, and you actually have R2, L2. You have double triggers at the top. Now, I know some retro handhelds have them as triggers. Personally, I didn't really mind this. I mean, I'm not playing a whole lot of extensive PlayStation 1 games, so I don't really even use both buttons, but it's nice that it's there. Now, the handheld itself is pretty small. It's quite quaint. As a matter of fact, that's one of the key factors that made me decide I wanted to really try this handheld out. Just for a comparison, this is an Atari 2600 cartridge. The cartridge is just a little thicker, but you kind of know what you're getting at. And with that being said, I do want to go ahead and say that if you have really big hands, this may not be for you. This wasn't something I was looking to marathon with, just something to play for just a couple of minutes, maybe 30 minutes tops. And for that, it's pretty comfortable for my hands. I don't really have big hands or small hands, or kind of like right in the middle. I just have really long fingers. The speaker is also in the back, but it's pretty loud. Listen to that speaker. But if it's too loud, you also have a headphone jack, and that's where your Type-C charger would go into. And this handheld can have about a 7-hour battery life. I think I've charged this thing maybe 3 times the whole month I've had it so far. And last but not least, you have 2 card slots, one for the operating system and one for your ROMs, which when I got this handheld, it came with preloaded ROMs. All right, so I'm hitting the power button to boot it up. Let's see how long it takes for it to load. I think that's a very important factor with these handhelds. You know, you want to, if you want to play a game, you don't want to wait for a load. So the UI is straight up doo-doo. I have to be honest. I mean, opening up the box and seeing how premium everything was and turning it on and seeing that UI that looks like it's from a Nokia phone in the mid-2000s reminds me that, yeah, this is a product over China. But of course, let's not judge a book by its cover, folks. You do have some applications. In case for some reason you want your RG280V to be your music player, you have MP3 player and you can look at your videos or whatever. But anyway, the emulators, that's the important part. And you'll notice it has like MAME, DOSBox, FBA, that's Final Burn Alpha, NES, a really bad Game Boy emulator, and another Game Boy emulator that's a lot better. That's already a problem there, folks. You got your Genesis Plus, which is actually Master System. OpenBR, that's Beats of Rage, has a really cool Castlevania on there. Wonder Swan, PlayStation 1. You also have the Genesis, Super Nintendo, Neo Geo Pocket, Game Boy Advance, PC Engine, Neo Geo. So your standard 16, 32-bit that you would expect from these kind of handhelds. So how is the emulation? For what it is, it does really well. I mean, once I navigated and went past all those weird, ROM names, I found some games I really enjoyed playing, like Sonic the Hedgehog and, Mega Man 2. And, it's 2023. I feel like that you have to be completely incompetent to have a product out like this that does not emulate that generation well, especially PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1 emulation that's came so far, you can just emulate it on just about anything now. Now, if you're like me and you got the Anbernic 280V and you're starting to be like, oh, I'm having some buyer's remorse, especially with that UI, and thankfully you can take some of the ROMs and you can organize the ROM set onto the operating system, but the operating system is really bad. But there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to have a link on the description below to a very helpful video from the folks at RetroCorps. There is a whole community behind these Anbernic products because they are Linux based, and there's an image called the Atom image that makes your UI go from Nokia 2003 to something more complementary to the overall build quality of this handheld. And also what I really like about it is it's backed with RetroArch. That means you're going to have a lot more compatibility with ROMs, and it's just so much more organized. Listen, I know there are more alternatives to enjoy handheld gaming. I mean, you have the Nintendo Switch, you have the Steam Deck, and of course you have your mobile devices, but for under $100, I feel like this is a really, really good buy. I mean, this is something I enjoy just putting in my bag and going to work. And if I go on a lunch break, I can play some, Super Mario Land or Donkey Kong, or, I can play some of those Super Nintendo RPGs or PlayStation 1 titles that I've missed out on. This is a great way to play some games on the go. But anyway, guys, what do you think of the RG280V? Is this something you want to check out? Leave a comment below. Are you an owner of any Anbernic products? What are some of your favorite models? I'd love to hear some of your opinions. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, but also ring the bell so you're notified on all future videos that come out on this channel. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, happy gaming.